Hey folks, Backwoods back here again. Today we're making sweet Italian sausage. We're going to make it pretty much from scratch, although we did use a seasoning mix from Lim for the sweet Italian sausage. It is absolutely fabulous. I haven't been able to recreate it yet, or we'd make it from scratch, but it's really good. So we've already got our pork partially prepared. We used a full pork butt, one whole huge pork butt, and we ground it down one time and seasoned it with the seasoning mix per the directions. And then we also added a cup of ham broth from the powder stuff to make it go through the grinder and stuff a little better. And so this is what we got now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and load this up into the hopper, and we're going to give it, this is coarse ground by the way, with that disc with the large holes. Okay, we're not going to finely ground this, we're going to have some texture to it. So, but we're just going to run it through one more time. As you can see, some of the pieces in there are still, they're fairly large, so we're going to run it through one more time. That'll also help completely blend all of the seasoning mix. So we'll get at that. Keeping your hands wet, you can just roll these up into like little tubes and just drop them right down in there. There's hardly no need to shove them like most grinders. This big bite grinder here, as long as it'll fit down that hole, it'll grab it. So really speeds up the process. And when you're rough grinding your meat also, you don't have to cut it into cubes, you just cut it into strips. As long as it'll fit down the hole, this thing will, I've ground this whole butt in about 5 minutes. So it's really quick, hardly ever needs the use of the pusher. If you just form this, the rough grind here, and by the way, it smells awesome. Just forming it in my hands into a shape that will go down the tube, drop it in, and no forcing it or using this thing very rarely. Alright, this after the second grind, texture is about perfect. The other thing I want to show you about this grinder here is how well this thing feeds the last of your meat out. We'll go ahead and try to pull this off. We may have to pull the shaft. And you see, here's our blade. That's the only meat left inside. Okay, we got a little in there to wash out, but a lot of the other grinders I've used before, you know, you got to feed bread through them, all kinds of other stuff to get the last of that meat. Here, this is uses some fins inside to really help the feeding process, and just, you know, I just take my fingers, get the last of that out of there. Don't want to waste any. This is an expensive project, but that's almost clean. Get that over here in the sink, get them washed up. This grinder's been working flawlessly for the 3 years I've had it. Alright, we're going to move straight to the stuffing process. Here we have the 5-pound Lim grinder, or I mean sausage stuffer. Just form these into balls, drop them in you can. No brainer. Just get these in here until she's filled up. Pack it down a little bit. We're probably going to have at least a couple runs on this. So we're just going to get it in there. This has a self-bleeding feature on it that helps you to helps let any excess air you have in there escape. So we're going to go ahead and load that up, and there's that little valve going to hold that up, get it in there. Okay, we got her loaded up of meat. We're not going to pull our casing all the way down there yet because we want to let any air that's in there out. So I'm going to go ahead and start cranking it down. I did re-lubricate my gasket on this with some lard, and you see our meat coming out. You can always back that off, it'll stop pretty quickly. So we know our tube is, we're using the small one here. It just makes it easier to get your casing on there. So we'll go ahead and tie this off. A simple overhand knot. Trying to save our casings. Our casings weren't the greatest this time. I use a little bit of the water in the bowl to keep that wet. Makes it slide a lot easier. So I'll use one hand to hold a little bit of pressure on the casing to make sure that it's fully filling up the casing, and to watch for blowouts. This works about 10 times faster than trying to use that attachment on your grinder. Those casings are coming off pretty hard, so I'm going to stop a minute and give them a little more water. I soaked these overnight, but they were really cured, so go ahead and start it again. There's really a lot of resistance. We don't want to overfill these because I'm going to show you guys how to tie this into links, and you need a little bit of space. So I'm going to watch for my end to come up here too. Now here you see we got some air pockets and stuff in there. So while we still got it, before we get too far, I'm just going to go ahead and work those down. Again, since we're going to tie these, a little bit of space, not too tight. You want to have some room to form these into links. Excuse me here today. Choked up. Okay, there's our end. So we want to stop it there so we can tie it off. One thing I want to show you about this stuffer, it pushes almost every bit of the meat out of there. So basically when you get done, all you have is the tube. You use a spoon, a handle of a spoon, push the rest of that out, and that's an easy cleanup. We did have a little extra, that's okay. We'll go ahead and bag that, vacuum pack it, and that'll be great for making sauce. So, and here's all of our sausages that we just stuffed. We were limited on some of them. The casings were real short, so we'll figure out what we're going to do with those. But those are perfect size for 2 people. We may just twist those off into 2 links, so we'll see. Okay, next thing I want to do is show you how to tie these up in links. This one's she looks kind of weak down at the end there. We're just going to push that, squeeze it off, push it down until it's more even. Alright, we're going to go ahead and twist that first one off. This is the only one we're going to actually twist off. Now we're going to grab this to where it's about equal lengths. Then we're going to pinch it. Right there, we're going to pinch it into a loop and then twist that whole loop a couple times. Alright, now we're going to bring this one, the rest of the end, back up to match this one, about the same length. I'm going to twist it, okay, and pass the rest of the length through. Okay, now you see how that pulled that into 3 beautifully evenly spaced links. Now if we had a longer one, we could keep going on this forever. Here we only got a few because of the length of these casings. So here I'm going to take find a knot in the end there. I'm going to squeeze this back up. We're going to find the middle. Going to twist him off a couple times and bring that knot right back through the rest of this twisting a couple times, in and out. Alright, so now there you go, tying them up. Do it one more time for you guys with a little bit longer one. We always start our first one, we figure out how long we want to make them. We'll make these a little shorter, so we'll pinch it off and we'll twist it up. Now we'll bring it up to about double there, okay? And we're holding the bottom one, still, but twisting these at least one time. Okay? I want to bring this one back up to about the same length. I'm going to pinch it off, pinching these off, pinching the loop off, bring this one up, passing the rest of it through there. Okay? Until you have, I didn't pull it all the way through this time because it's a longer one. So I want to pinch it off about the same length, okay? And then I can bring my next one through, the tag end of it, if you prefer that. Okay, bring that one through. Alright, so it's about the same length. Okay, and I already got this one pinched off. So I'm just going to wrap that through it and pull it. Oop, sorry. So I wrapped it around, pull it through again. Now we're back to kind of the same deal we had before. So we'll pinch that right in the middle. That gives us our marker point. We'll twist that one off. We'll take the remaining end. It's kind of slippery. Pull it around one. Flip it back over the other one. Pull it around the second one. If you got more, pull it around a couple more times. It'll keep it from coming undone. Now you can see how that's the easiest way to make links, not you know, like I've seen some people do, twisting them off as you come out. You can do this in, like, I just made 3, 6, 9 links in 30 seconds. So try that. I think you will see it's much easier. And what we're going to do now is just going to set all our links in this bus pan. Just or any container you got that's big enough to hold them all. And we're going to put them in our refrigerator out here where we got plenty of room. We want to leave some airspace on them. And get them in there and let them dry. You know, it's important that they dry out, so set the casings on them so that you can unlink them later. You can see we took the long ones, we just made 2 links out of those. So we'll go ahead and get them all in there and get them in the fridge, keep them cool. And that nice cool dry air in the fridge will set those casings and set those twists, and then we'll be able to unlink them, and then we'll vacuum pack them, put them in the freezer. Not going to smoke them this time. I'm kind of burnt out on the smoke right now. I just want some good, beautiful, fresh, sweet Italian sausages. These are great on the grill, great just in the pan, wherever. But I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Now, earlier I told you that we use the Backwoods limb sweet Italian sausage spice blend for these. We did juice that up a bit. We put in some hot sauce. We put in some of our homemade sweet daddle pepper sauce. A little extra black pepper. It didn't seem to have quite as much black pepper as I like in these. So take those store-bought seasonings and add you know, your favorite stuff to it. Don't be afraid to fiddle with it. We also put garlic. It didn't seem to have any garlic. I put more garlic in these. They smell fabulous. If they taste as good as they smell, they're going to be awesome.